Hey guys, what's up? It's Karl. Welcome back to another desk setup video. I think these are some of your guys' faves. You of course see it over my left-hand shoulder here, and it's a setup that focuses on all of Apple's M1 products, the ones that have been out now for the past couple months, now that I've had a bit more time to use them. The main ones are of course the 24-inch M1 iMac, of course the one I grabbed in orange. If this is the first video that you're watching of any of my vids, you know that I have a sickly addiction to the color orange. The second one being the larger iPad Pro, which is off to the side this way. And since they've been out now for the past couple months, I'll kind of walk through my experience, how they've helped me make these YouTube videos, how they fit into my desk setup, and mostly maybe some of the things that I don't like about them, because I think that's the most important thing. But before we start though, I kind of want to intro the desk for this vid, as it's part, of course, of the setup and it's brand new to the channel. This one is from Artifox. If you've seen any of my vids or content before, you probably know that I lean towards the white/lighter wood finishes to fit into my overall loft studio vibe, but I wanted to give the walnut wood finish a try. It's darker, it's a bit sleeker. I think it gives it a bit of a dark mode theme. And personally, I just think it matches the orange iMac a bit better than the lighter wood. So the desk itself, 52 inches. Remember, it's made from Artifox. They are made locally in the US, and it is one piece of solid wood. And it is on the pricier side, just over 1,500 bucks. That's in stark comparison to an IKEA desk, which can run you 50 to 60 bucks. Those are made out of particle board. They're light, they're flimsy, they break down after 6 months of using them. This thing is completely solid. If you take care of it, it'll last you probably your lifetime. It'll live longer than you. There are zero creaks, zero wiggles in it. It is a premium desk that you're paying for, but you also get a very premium experience. So it has a couple of fine details, which I think make it a bit unique and special. So it actually has this little channel in the back, which acts for two purposes. One, as a cable run through. So I have actually got my wireless phone charger, the OnePlus supercharger on it. It also works with their modular accessories, like this one here, which is the tray. It's one piece of steel finished in black. So you can put any of your desk accessories here. I typically drop my keys in at the beginning of every day so I don't misplace them and I know where they are. And a cool little accessory on the keys, not specifically the AirTags, which they've been out now forever. We all know what they do. It's the little accessory loop that the AirTags fit in. So one is from Apple. Kind of see this one, and this one is from Zyf or ZYF. You cannot spot the difference between them. One cost 20 to 25 bucks for one. For that same price, you get multiple. And I do think Apple accessories, like their phone cases, like their AirTag cases, are the most overpriced out of any section. Why would you pay 25 bucks for one keyring when you can get multiple for the same price? They have the exact same feel, still made out of leather. It's literally a case to hold your AirTag. It serves no other function. Accessories is the best area to save a bit of money on. So of course, links for this and everything else in the video down below. It also has this grid cable management piece at the bottom, which helps with the rigidity, but once again hides all of the cables of your desk setup. And I'm a firm believer, if you can keep your workspace clean, minimal, and it's something that you're proud of, that will help increase your productivity, your creativity, whatever you do day to day. You don't necessarily have to be making YouTube videos or be a content creator, but if you're crunching numbers all day, having a clean space helps you with your workflow, I think. Back to the rest of the desk accessories, you can see over this way is something called the mini pegs. This is essentially a glorified pen holder. So in there, I do have my Apple Pencil and a matching orange pen, which actually matches perfectly to the back of my iMac. But the most important thing, if any of you are building an iMac setup, is actually the desk riser, or in Artifox's case, it's called the lift. And I think this is the one essential accessory that everyone needs for an iMac setup. For whatever reason, Apple, a company that spends billions of dollars on design, on ergonomics, still designs their iMac with only one height position. You cannot change the height of an iMac. All you can do is really tilt the screen 15 to 20 degrees, and unlike the Pro Display XDR stand, which this is actually designed after, you are stuck at one height. So this lift system rises your iMac by several inches and makes it feel a bit more normal to use, so you're not necessarily staring down at it, getting a bit of hunchback Quasimodo-ness. As the lift is a bit larger, it gives you extra desk real estate. So my typical workflow when I'm done one of these videos or after I'm done shooting some photos, I'll drop off my camera on the left-hand side. From there, I just pop my SD card into my iMac, and because we are limited by the USB-C ports on the back, you do have to live the dongle life if you are rocking the new iMac, so I'm just using one from CalDigit. I'm still on the hunt to find a dongle or an SD card reader to color match the orange iMac, so if you guys track one down, please do let me know. On the opposite side of the iMac, I keep the earbuds that I'm using, and these have replaced my AirPod Pros. These are the Sony WF-1000X Mark IVs. In the quick time that I have been testing them, I will say these are probably the best wireless earbuds that you can get. They are on the pricey side, but just like the Sony over-the-ear headphones, let me grab them over here. The WH series, which are kind of industry standards for noise canceling, that brings a lot of the tech into their smaller earbud game. Sound quality is awesome, so really nice and rich deep bass, but for active noise canceling, I do not think you can get better in the earbud game. You'll actually notice on the tips, they've switched over from traditional silicone tips to actually foam tips. Perhaps not the best looking things to feature on camera, and they do remind me of a saggy old person's belly that's been on the beach for maybe 30 years too long. I'll keep you guys updated on social how these perform, but yeah, solid pair of wireless earbuds. And before we get into the main hardware of today's desk setup, gotta give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, which is WeVPN. They kind of enable cool vids like this to happen. So obviously, I'm pretty sure we all know what a VPN is, but I just want to share the one that I personally use. So WeVPN gives you all of the premium features that you need. It's one of the fastest and most secure, and you'll have access to over 50 server locations, and you can use it to unlock streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, BBC, etc. They're already offering their services for $2.69 a month, and you get an additional 2 months for free. And if you actually use my link and promo code, you'll get an additional amount off. So I think that's a no-brainer. It's cheap, affordable, and definitely worth checking out. So yeah, to the M1 iMac, which is kind of the computer now that I'm using to run the channel. It's what I edited this video on. It's where I do most of my work. 95% of my work is actually over on an iMac. The performance on it, just like the rest of Apple's M1 product line, is kind of next level. As long as you're in that Apple ecosystem, if you're editing in Final Cut, I can crunch multiple streams of 4K content with zero lag or zero stutter. If you're on the fence before whether it's worth the upgrade or if you're toying with the idea, there is no better time to grab a new iMac than now, since it just came out, and it's a huge improvement from the previous gen iMac. If I could redo it or reorder mine, I would probably go for the silver spec. I'm not in love with the pastel front. I just don't think it's totally orange. The color match cable and say some of the accessories like the keyboard, not too crazy about them. I've actually swapped out the Magic Mouse. I think that's the first thing to do. I'm just rocking the Logitech MX Master 3. We'll use that thing until the MX4 comes out, but I can't deny the performance. It's great. Like I said, as long as you're in that Apple ecosystem, it will handle anything that you throw at it. And what I do pair with it, either as sidecar as a little second monitor or as just a standalone, is the iPad Pro with, of course, the M1 chip over this way. I will say I was slightly disappointed with Apple's latest keynote at WWDC with the new iPad OS. The biggest update that came was widgets for your iPad. I do feel like it was a bit of a letdown because we have the M1 chip. We know how powerful it is. I can now use a $1,500 iPad with widgets. We still don't have true multitasking for an iPad, and for those that really want Final Cut Pro, an actual dedicated piece of software to edit, say, videos like this on an iPad, we're still waiting for that. And in my personal opinion, if you aren't using your iPad for creative purposes with the Apple Pencil, doing a lot of sketching, a lot of drawing, you will be more productive over on an iMac, over on a MacBook Air, MacBook Pro. It just has a more dedicated operating system in macOS. And to be very honest, I did mention this, 95% of the work gets done over on my iMac, the rest maybe on my iPhone. I really use my iPad as a glorified second screen to watch YouTube content, to say watch soccer. I know the Euros are coming, Euro 2020, now 21. If any of you are interested, I do have a fantasy partnered up with FIFA, so if you want to join, I'll leave a link down below. Off topic, who do you guys see winning? I think France is favored. I think most of you know the team that I will be rooting for. And I am actually part Dutch and used to play in the Netherlands. And I think I just gave away where the orange addiction comes from. Anyways, back to the desk setup. Let's kind of finish it off and wrap it all off. I did forget though, one of the cool accessories of this desk, it does have a built-in headphone stand on the bottom, and that's actually where my AirPod Maxes are living. I do think out of anything, these are probably my guilty tech pleasure to use. I wouldn't say that they're worth the money. They do feel nice, they do sound great, but yeah, I do think there are better options on the market for the amount of money that these things cost. And quickly to talk about some stuff on this side, I know a lot of you always ask about my chair. This is the Herman Miller M-Body, and I think this is the same philosophy as the desk. I bought this 5 to 6 years ago. It's the priciest chair that you can get, but it is the best quality. It still feels brand new, and if you're spending 6, 7, maybe even 10 hours a day on something or sitting on something, make sure it's good quality, you know, and this chair is kind of the perfect example. Yes, it's gotten a bit dirty. You'll probably see a lot of dust from the B-roll shots, but I thankfully, knock on wood, I'm sitting on a little desk stool and my butt is already on fire from recording this video. That has not given me any health problems or any back problems yet. I've also got a Porsche RS poster that lives here, simply just for aesthetics. Over on this side, you can actually see the king, the prince, my editor-in-chief, hanging out in his usual spot. Above that though, I do have some new desk shelves. They are still from the company Grovemade, but I did swap them out from the lighter wood to, of course, the walnut wood to match all of this desk setup. So I do think those are dope. My setups are never complete without having my Lego bits. So I've got the tried and trusted AT-AT Walker and the Porsche Turbo to round that all out. And of course, the Xbox Series X, which sadly collects dust and is just an aesthetic piece part of this setup. But yeah, that kind of wraps up the M1 desk setup video, or I guess whatever you want to call it. I know that most of us have switched to that work at home life. So if you are sitting somewhere 8, maybe 9 hours a day, I'm not saying you need to drop $2,000 on a desk, get all this gorgeous tech. It would be nice if you could, but with whatever tech you have, or if you are inspired by this setup and end up purchasing maybe some pieces of it, I do hope that your productivity goes up. I do hope that you can crush the rest of your day and don't sleep like this guy always on the side. Anyways, that's the end of this desk setup video. I'm kind of rambling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I will catch the rest of you in one of my next vids. Peace.